Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, the hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script. Man, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask the most important questions. I would not be doing my job if I didn't ask this one question right now that is so prominently on my mind as I start this Monday Night Raw review for February 3rd, 2020. I am JD. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on Off the Script, sponsored by BlueChew.com. I would not be doing my job if I didn't ask this question, man. What is Brock Lesnar doing in the main event? What is Brock Lesnar doing in the last segment on Monday Night Raw after we went a whole 3 hours thinking that he was not there? What was Brock Lesnar doing in the main event with the triple threat match between Ricochet, Bobby Lashley, and Seth Rollins to come out and attack Ricochet to sell their match? Ricochet won, by the way, which is comical in itself. To sell their match for Super Showdown when 3 hours ago, in the first hour, Drew McIntyre was talking all this trash about Brock Lesnar. I guess Brock Lesnar didn't give a shit about what Drew McIntyre was saying. Maybe he looks at Drew McIntyre as an afterthought for Monday Night Raw and the WWE Championship and his Wrestlemania match coming up. I don't know. You see, these are the things that I'm thinking about when Raw goes off the air. Why? I don't know. I do know we're going to go over the show tonight, which I have to say, just to kind of get it out there in the open, man, because I know there are a lot of people in and around the community. Oh, JD is negative. This was a good show tonight. By no means perfect, but this was a good show tonight. I liked a lot of what I seen tonight. I tried to be as positive as I possibly could be during the 3 hours of this show. And it's not SmackDown. Remember all those months, consecutive months? It was consistent every single week. I'd come on here and just spew the most unadulterated hatred at Monday Night Raw. And now that seems to have transferred to Friday nights. And Monday, I'm taking it a little bit easy on the Monday night side of things when it comes to WWE, because it feels like the show is still very formulaic, but it feels like and it looks like WWE's actually, or Paul Heyman, his influence is growing a little week by week. It feels like they're trying on this show. It feels like there's some effort in what we're seeing on this show. For the last couple of weeks, this show, minus the Lashley and Lana stuff, and again, this show is not particularly all that good. It's not perfect by any means, but there is effort there. And I would not be doing my job as a credible content creator and a podcaster and an analyst if I wasn't saying that there was effort there. There is effort there. Whether it's good effort or bad effort, that's up to you guys to decide, but I see effort. And normally when I see effort, I can appreciate that I guess, positive move in the right direction. I don't know what else to say on it, but there is effort. And now SmackDown has no effort. I mean, you could just look at SmackDown on Friday and see that there's absolutely no effort. The only effort that was put into that show was going to the local supermarket and buying quote-unquote dog food for Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin, but I shall not discuss that again because it gave me eye cancer on Friday. I hate that show with the heat of 1,000 suns. I hate SmackDown Live. It's awful. The worst wrestling show in the industry. I can no longer say that about Monday Night Raw. But we're going to go over everything here on the show tonight, February 3rd, 2020. They were in the middle of a major snowstorm over in Salt Lake City, Utah. And there were reports about the show being canceled. Brian Alvarez was tweeting that this was 6 hours before the show, that the show might not go on as scheduled, that they might actually cancel it. There were reports going around that WWE had an emergency camera crew and a production crew down in Orlando, Florida. If Monday Night Raw wasn't going to go on, they were going to give you an emergency episode of NXT instead. They were actually frantically writing an emergency Plan B episode of NXT tonight. This is what the reports were saying 6 hours before Raw hit the air on the USA Network. I would not have minded that whatsoever because whatever they plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, Humberto is better than Monday Night Raw. But they put on a decent show tonight. The crowd showed up for Monday Night Raw in Salt Lake. They packed that as best they possibly could. People still showed up, even though the mayor was threatening to close all the roads down. They showed up, and they were lively. Probably the most lively show that Monday Night Raw has put on all year for 2020. So we're going to go over everything tonight right here on the podcast. We had Rhea Ripley show up tonight. Yes, Rhea Ripley was in town tonight. She confronted Charlotte Flair. Like I said, Brock Lesnar and his opponent for Super Showdown has been determined. Angel Garza seemingly might have his career ruined now that he has been demoted to the main roster. Drew McIntyre continues his build towards Wrestlemania and Brock Lesnar. Rollins and his ministry, follow me, my sons. But I do it cooler than Rollins. Rollins, Murphy, and the AOP continued their war against Kevin Owens and the Viking Raiders minus Samoa Joe. And there is news coming in from Wrestle votes tonight that more suspensions are coming. And he tweeted that out, or they tweeted it out about 45 minutes ago, right before Raw hit the third hour. More suspensions are coming for what? I don't know. I can assume that it's more drug policy violations, and seeing that we've seen Rey Mysterio get blasted with a DDT on the concrete tonight. We've seen Ivar get taken out in that six-man tag, leaving Kevin Owens alone by himself again for a second straight week. They could be on the list for drug policy violations. We don't know. I don't know what's going on. Something might be reported as I'm recording this show tonight. I have no idea, but we'll talk about that as we get on with this review and give my thoughts on that, about who that could possibly be and what's going on with that. So we got a loaded show here tonight, guys. Thank you so very much for joining me. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys missed anything, man, Off the Script was hot this past weekend. Go and check all that stuff out. Links will be down in the description of this very video. And I got a giveaway going on. Yes, I don't do giveaways, but I got a giveaway, and my friends over at Tavor are helping me. Tavor is actually a free app via Google Play and iTunes, or the App Store on Apple. So you guys go and download Tavor's app. It's absolutely free. It is the world of craft beer like you've never seen before in your entire life, man. Download it for free. Okay, that's step one. Step two. This is, of course, if you are old enough to drink. Now, please be over 21 if you're going to enter my contest sponsored by Tavor. All you have to do is go to Tavor's Instagram. I'm going to link you their Instagram page down below in the description. You go to their Instagram page, you follow them on Instagram, and then you look at their Instagram wall and you at me in any picture you want on their wall so I know that you followed them. At the end of the week, I will pick one winner, and you guys will win a specialty crate of beer worth $100 that I will handpick myself, and this is all being given away because this week, this Thursday, I'm turning 38. It's going to be my birthday, and I'm giving you guys an early JD birthday gift in the form of some delicious craft beer sponsored by my good friends over at Tavour. So once again, guys, follow them on Instagram. Make sure you guys look at their wall and at me, Instagram me. Just put me in the comments on anything you find on their wall so I know that you guys are following them, and we'll take it from there, and you guys can go on to win. I will pick one lucky winner by next week's Monday Night Raw review. So thank you guys so very much for all your support, not only on the show, but helping my friends over at Tavour. Hour one. This was one of the biggest wastes of an hour one all year in WWE. Nothing happened in hour one. So Randy Orton and Edge, you guys know the situation with Randy Orton and Edge. That emotional, climactic ending to Monday Night Raw last week that featured Randy Orton contemplating wanting to Pillmanize Edge's neck with that steel chair. Ended up giving him a concerto. And Edge got taken away on a stretcher. He had just come back. Big week for him. Gone for 9 years in the Royal Rumble. Everybody's just overly emotional with Edge's return in the WWE. Randy Orton wanted to get Rated RKO back. Ends up attacking Edge. And that seemingly set up their WrestleMania 36 program this April. So this week we were going to find out who, or what I should say, the explanation was in regards to Randy Orton attacking Edge. So Randy Orton made his way to the ring, and he took his time, and I mean he took his time. This was dragged out. I did not know if all of the roster was there for Monday Night Raw. I heard also that some of the roster was having trouble getting into Salt Lake City. I wasn't sure if everybody was there, so my immediate thought was they were having Randy Orton stall because they were just filling time because not all of the roster was there because of the snowstorm in Utah. But anyway, Orton was there. There was a fan holding up a Why Randy Why sign in the crowd. So Tom Phillips said Edge is at home recovering. They had tweeted out last week after Monday Night Raw that Edge was being checked out at a medical facility, a.k.a. hospital. You know, Vince McMahon-isms, medical facility. So now he's home, and he went under a battery of tests. They put him through a battery of tests, is what he said. Said he would update the fans as early as next week. So Edge, not on tonight's show. Next week, we will see or hear from Edge, whether he's in the arena or he is via satellite from his home. So Orton looked like he was in deep thought. He wanted to give everybody an explanation. He entered the ring very slowly, and I mean very slowly. So fans were booing. Fans were chanting, "You suck," at him. This was like Tommaso Ciampa. Not the same thing. When Ciampa was heel, he was absolutely berated. He was hated when he was the NXT champion, feuding with Gargano down in Full Sail when they were going through their feud. But this was absolutely volcanic heat for Randy Orton. When I look at Randy Orton, this is the type of reaction I think of when I think about what Randy Orton should be in WWE. Fans were chanting, "You suck." We're 10 minutes into the show at this point. We didn't get one single word from Randy Orton. Fans were booing him. He picked up the microphone. He tried to speak. Fans were booing him even louder every single time. He paced back and forth, took a deep breath. Camera zoomed in. He continued to look that he was pondering what he was going to say. He finally said, "Look, I guess I owe everybody an explanation." More boos. You see, the thing is, more boos. Another pause. Edge chants broke out. More pauses. We're nearly 15 minutes into the show at this point. Not one single progression made as of this moment. Last week, ... he tried to speak again louder. You suck, Chance. I can't do this. I can't give you guys an explanation. He walks out of the ring. He holds his head down, and it seems like WWE is milking this, which is absolutely okay to me. It's fine to me because we are in the beginning of February. We got all of this month, and we got all of March to sell this. This is a WrestleMania program that WWE is setting up a day after the Royal Rumble. There's no reason for Randy Orton to go out there and give you, the fan, an explanation as to why he did what he did to Edge. Now, I will give you an example of how I would have booked this, and WWE did fine with what they did. Randy Orton did fine with what he did. I'm sure we'll eventually get an explanation. I'm sure there'll be a head-to-head, and everything will come to blows between Randy Orton and Edge, and we'll finally get that explanation when he's ready. Now, there was two things I wanted to go over here. One, I wanted Randy Orton to just continue on the progression that he was doing. He picked up the microphone, he tried to speak, fans were booing him. Every time he said something, the fans were booing louder. I wanted him so badly to snap. I wanted him to just snap and finally give everybody the explanation because of how they were treating him. And he didn't do that. He ended up saying, I can't give you guys an explanation, I can't do this, and walked out and got booed louder than he did all night. Now, what I would have did with this situation was Orton come to the ring, do what he did here, right? And not even pick up a microphone, pace back and forth, give that sadistic smile that he usually does, go on top of the second turnbuckle, pose, and then leave the ring. That's all I would have had him do. He doesn't owe anybody an explanation. This is a calculated, psychotic motherfucker, is Randy Orton. Why does he owe anybody an explanation? The less I know about what Randy Orton's motives are, the more I like him. And the more people are going to boo him. Randy Orton was never the type of guy that you needed to hear an explanation from because you knew what type of character he was. His actions and his explanations are told through his actions, his body language, his demeanor, his smile, his eyes, his facial expressions. That's all you need to know about Randy Orton. This was great. So if we're grading this on 2 weeks now of build with Randy Orton and Edge, I give WWE a passing grade. Last week was absolutely phenomenal. And then this week, obviously Edge is not there, but Randy Orton did excellent today on Raw in the opening segment. Another passing grade. So we got 2 weeks and 2 check marks from JD. Professor JD here with Edge and Randy Orton heading towards WrestleMania. I thought this was great. I would have just had Randy Orton not say anything, not even pick up a microphone, enter the ring, do the introduction, do his pose, and then walk out of the ring. That would have been fucking fantastic. Laughable, but in a good way, fantastic. But this was awesome, and we'll hear from Edge next week in regards to how he's feeling and what Randy Orton did to him last week on Monday Night Raw. So, Phillips said it's harrowing and chilling with what just occurred with Randy Orton. He asked Lola for his thoughts. Lola says he's seen some bad things happen on Raw over the years, and last week was one of the worst. WWE's always got to play up what's currently going on right now. I wouldn't say it was one of the worst. It was definitely one of the most emotional, is what I'd say. So we go from that to Lana versus Liv Morgan. This went 2 minutes. And the less I talk about it, the better. I want to be positive on this review tonight. I want to be positive on the podcast tonight. I don't want to sit here and talk about how Lana sucks. She is a terrible actor. She cannot wrestle at all. Get her off TV immediately. Liv Morgan. More Liv Morgan, please. So after this match, Liv Morgan won, by the way, with I guess it's a flatliner off the second rope. She wins, pins Lana 1, 2, 3. Same ending, same move, same outcome as last week. Same everything from last week. Liv Morgan was celebrating. The Riott Squad music hit, and out came Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott is back on Monday Night Raw. So obviously the commentary team mentioned that Liv and Ruby are best friends, and that Liv Morgan was with Ruby Riott in the Riott Squad. Phillips says she's been gone for about 9 months after double shoulder surgery. So Ruby entered the ring. Liv was smiling. Ruby was smiling. It looked like they were going to embrace and hug. Best friends reunite after 9 months on Monday Night Raw. So Ruby instead attacked Liv Morgan. What the hell are we witnessing? Says Tom Phillips. Lana looked on, smiling. Ruby Riott then clotheslined Liv from behind. She left the ring, and then Lana obviously picked apart the bones and did a slam, driving Liv Morgan's face right into the mat. So we go from Liv Morgan and the Riott Squad breaking up, and she goes on and does her own gimmick. Ruby Riott comes back. We got Randy Orton and Edge, best friends or good buddies. Now they're feuding. Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan are now feuding. It's like, who's going to be the next friend that is stabbed in the back on this show? I love Ruby Riott. I think Ruby Riott is an unbelievable addition to the women's division. A. B. I missed her. I think she was probably the most solid in-ring act when she was on Monday Night Raw before she got hurt. Her work ethic and what she did in the ring was growing leaps and bounds, and that's something that I seen because she was in NXT, and I watched her on NXT for a whole year before she got called up to the main roster. She was great. She had which I should say, women's championship written all over her. That's how good she was. Then she got hurt. Now you add her back to this terrible Monday Night Raw women's division. It gives it a nice shot of adrenaline in the arm, but a feud with Liv Morgan is not really what we're desiring at this moment. I'm trying to look at the positive with this situation, because right now all I see is lame. This is Ruby Riott's return after all of these months. All these months have gone by. 9 months you've been out, and this is how you return, Ruby Riott. I can't help but feel lame. Or I can't help that it was, and it came off lame. I thought it was a lame reintroduction for Ruby Riott. Now, I don't know if she was cleared for the Royal Rumble. I don't know why you wouldn't have re-debuted her in the Royal Rumble. I don't know why you saved her for a snowstorm day on Monday here in Salt Lake City, Utah for this. Now, I hope she's not working with Lana. I hope the fact that Liv Morgan beat Lana is the part of the storyline where we can say, this is over. This entire Liv Morgan, Lana, Bobby Lashley thing is all over, and we're not getting Lana and Ruby Riott teaming together against Liv Morgan. Nobody wants to see that, and Lana and Ruby Riott are complete polar opposites. But the only thing I could possibly think of here is the fact that Ruby Riott's going to be used to get Liv Morgan more over as a babyface. I don't know. I think it's just kind of, it's like you feel deflated. Ruby Riott's such a solid act in that women's division, and you immediately look at this, and the first thing that pops into your head is, man, they could be doing more with her. I don't want her to fall into that same trap where she was before she got hurt, because she had the potential to break out big time, and WWE didn't do anything with her. I hope that's not the case. I hope this time around, Paul Heyman's now in charge. He sees a little bit more in Ruby Riott than everybody else did back in 2018. We'll see what happens. So we go from that to Drew McIntyre. This was a very uneventful first hour. Drew McIntyre was in the ring. Before that, Mojo Rawley was in the ring with Riddick Moss, his linebacker, holding the 24/7 championship. Mojo Rawley got no ring entrance. He was in the ring, and we've seen some clips of him partying on Rob Gronkowski's party boat before the Super Bowl. So Drew entered the ring, and Mojo was standing there. This was not a 24/7 title opportunity, by the way. Drew was just there. Came out, spoke about Brock Lesnar. He said, Mojo, I'll be with you in just a second, man. So he said, I'll be with you, but 3 seconds later, it's going to be Claymore your head off. 1, 2, 3. That's all he said. So he said he wants to talk about Brock Lesnar. Said Lesnar attacked him from behind, which indicates he's apprehensive of the sexy Scotsman. Let me repeat that. This is a guy that we are to believe in against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He's apprehensive of the sexy Scotsman. I don't want to hear sexy Scotsman ever come out of Drew McIntyre's mouth ever again. Said he's just as big, just as fast, and in possession of a secret weapon that knocked his ass out of the Royal Rumble. He said he will kick that oversized head off of Lesnar's body at WrestleMania and finally become the WWE Champion. He then turned to Mojo Rawley and acted surprised. He said he almost forgot about him. Bro, I almost forgot that you were standing there. So Drew reminded Mojo about his 3-second promise. Then he set the mic down. Bell rang. Mojo had been talking to Riddick Moss. Turned around. Drew McIntyre Claymore kick. And Drew McIntyre kept his promise. 1, 2, 3. And that's all it took to beat Mojo Rawley. 3 seconds on Monday Night Raw. Now, 2 things here I want to make mention about this situation. 1, we did not know, we did not have an advertisement for Brock Lesnar. And being that this show was in Salt Lake City, Utah, and everybody kind of assumed that Brock Lesnar was back in Saskatchewan hunting deer, that he wasn't going to be on this show tonight. So Drew McIntyre said what he said, and he wasn't going to have to pay this time around for saying what he said to Brock Lesnar because he wasn't there. Now, he buried... Well, I don't know how much more you could bury Mojo Rawley, but this was an absolute fucking decimation of Mojo Rawley after you've given this guy TV time and had him go out there and express that he's going to be a different 24/7 champion. He wants to welcome all challengers. He doesn't want to make this the Cowards Championship. Now, I understand you got to build Drew McIntyre up before WrestleMania. You got to give him some decent opponents. He needs to look the strongest he's ever looked going into WrestleMania. This is his time. They have to go all the way with him. You either go all the way or you don't. Clearly they are. So they're going to need to get him some solid wins. He needs to look like just as big of a monster as Brock Lesnar. Now, it also makes me wonder why they put Mojo Rawley in this situation after I just told you that he expressed he wants to be a different 24/7 champion. Makes me wonder that they could not get any enhancement talent locally from Salt Lake City. So they were, I guess, forced to use Mojo Rawley here. That's the only thing I could possibly come up with. Maybe Mojo wasn't supposed to be here in this situation. But I don't mind them using Mojo because, A, Mojo's a loser, and Mojo is much more credible than somebody you're going to pick up at the local bodega. So I didn't mind this whatsoever. 5 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever. Seconds. Claymore kick to the head, and that was it. No more sexy Scotsman. Please, get rid of that. We don't need to hear that anymore. Charlie Caruso interviewed Buddy Murphy, and AOP backstage. Buddy said that they already won the match because they're on the right side of history, siding with the fraud, the Monday Night Messiah. By the way, if you guys want to go get your YWC Messiah t-shirt, it is now available on bonfire.com. I will link you all down in the description of this very video. Follow me, my sons. Follow me, my sons and daughters. We sold 40 t-shirts in 4 days. So thank you to everybody that has purchased a t-shirt. Let's continue that. Go and get yours today. Seth walked in, and he was going to finish the interview so that they can go prepare for Kevin Owens and the Viking Raiders. Says he's beaten Brock Lesnar twice. He's taken his title twice, and he knows he has his heart set on facing Lesnar at WrestleMania. But Drew McIntyre, the guy who has his heart set on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, but Drew McIntyre needs to see the writing on the wall, which means he needs a plan for a new WrestleMania opponent, the Monday Night Messiah. So that's what Seth Rollins said to Charlie Caruso. He is going to be facing Drew McIntyre, and it's not going to be Drew versus Lesnar. It's going to be Drew versus Seth. No, thank you. I think we've seen that much more than we really deserve to, Mr. Rollins. Because remember back in 2019 or 2018, all through the year, WWE, that would be their go-to match on Monday Night Raw. McIntyre and Rollins. We don't need to see it anymore. We've seen it about 12 different fucking times between end of 2018 and 2019. I'll pass, bro. I'll pass, Mr. Messiah. An NXT ad hyped Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair going face-to-face at Full Sail on NXT Wednesday night. Just throwing that in there because that's going to be a talking point on this show tonight. Viking Raiders and Kevin Owens versus AOP and Buddy Murphy. This was an elimination match. So I was not really looking forward to this match, but in the end, at the end of that first hour, I'm like, holy shit, there's nothing happening on this show up until this point. And then we get this match. This match was really, really good. For a TV match, this was awesome. I don't really have anything bad to say about this. So, Eric, via Murphy, was eliminated. So, this was an elimination match. So, we had one Viking Raider eliminated here. And how this came about is because we got the Viking Raiders doing some dives, typical dives that they do. Seth interfered at ringside with a stomp on Eric. Meanwhile, KO called for help for Ivar, who at that time hit the LED board on a dive. So he hit the apron. He was blasted. He took the LED boards completely out. They went black after a man that size hit the LED boards. So back in the ring, being that Eric was just stomped behind the referee's back by Rollins, where Buddy Murphy cover Eric for the elimination. So now we're down to 3 against 2 here. So we had 2 referees come out and check on Ivar's arm, and Ivar was taken to the back. So not only was Eric eliminated, but Ivar was taken out of the match via the referees coming to help him because he hit the LED board. Now we got Kevin Owens versus Murphy versus Akam and versus Razor. 3-on-1 again. This is back-to-back weeks that Kevin Owens is facing daunting odds coming back from behind or battling from behind against Rollins and his disciples. So I'm like, what is going on here? Again, I wasn't sure if WWE was dipping into the script from last week just because they're lazy or if this is actually going somewhere. And I want to try and be positive about this and see things in a broader perspective. But this actually ended up looking really good for Kevin Owens. So KO threw Murphy into the ringside barricade. By the way, Murphy and his sell is absolutely phenomenal. Buddy Murphy sells magnificently. He is fucking awesome. So KO threw Murphy into the ringside barricade. AOP took turns working over KO to give Murphy a break. KO caught Murphy with a kick and a DDT. The DDT it was like RVD-esque when RVD used to take a DDT back in his prime. Planted him. Akam tagged in. Went back to work keeping KO grounded. KO rallied eventually against Murphy. Then he flipped onto Akam, onto the floor. He was going crazy at this point. He tossed a charging Razor into the steel steps. He kicked a diving Murphy in the jaw. He threw Murphy into the ring, went for a cannonball off the top rope. Murphy got the knees up. Murphy charged to KO. KO caught him midair, hit a pop-up powerbomb. KO eliminates Buddy Murphy. And we're now down to AOP versus Kevin Owens. I didn't like that Murphy was eliminated, but this was you give, and Kevin Owens has to take some, and then vice versa. This was give and take all the way through. So even though Buddy Murphy was eliminated here, it didn't really do anything to him at this point in the match. This was awesome. So Akam went after KO. KO caught him with a stunner, and he was eliminated. Now we're down to Razor and KO. We're now down to 1-on-1. And Owens, he might come from behind. He might pull it off. Rollins being on the outside during this match just played very beautifully into this thing as well because, A, Rollins didn't have to be there because he had to get ready for his own match, but he was out there anyway cheering on his guys and supporting his guys. But him being out there showing, I guess, concern when things were going wrong and then trying to hype his guys up, he was smacking Akam in the face. He was smacking Razor in the face. This was great. So Seth was at ringside. He was shocked. He tried to get Razor hyped, slapping him in the face, like I said. Charged at KO. KO moved. Razor went shoulder first into the ring post. At this point, I'm like, I don't believe they're going to have Kevin Owens do this. I hope not, because that would just bury Rollins and his disciples. So Owens hit a cannonball in the corner, climbed up to the top rope. He landed a senton off the top rope, only got a 2 count. So fans are chanting KO, KO. Fans were really into this, super hot for this match. KO attempted to lift Razor onto his shoulders. Seth stood on the apron and like a dumb baby face, Kevin Owens drops the AOP. Oh, he drops Razor in this moment. He tried to go for something. I don't know what he was trying to go for, but Rollins jumped onto the apron and he let Razor go. He went after Rollins. Rollins jumped down. Razor then caught KO with a clothesline, and 2 spine busters followed, and that was it. And Kevin Owens was eliminated, and Rollins and his guys win this match in 22 minutes. I want to be positive about this, man. Even though it was a similar outcome to what happened with Samoa Joe last week, Kevin Owens was protected. Kevin Owens was protected because Ivar got taken out of the match. The Viking Raiders here were protected because Ivar got taken out of the match. Him being taken out of the match protected Eric, and Ivar getting taken out of the match protected Kevin Owens because it left them in a hole against 3 solid performers and Rollins on the outside. I know for a fact when Kevin Owens gets all his troops lined up and everybody is ready to go, that victory is going to be sweet for Kevin Owens. When it happens, where it happens, I don't know. But Kevin Owens being down, facing these daunting odds, is not really hurting Kevin Owens in any way. This is actually, I think, enhancing him a little bit. Because look at how well he's performing on his own. He's just having a string of bad luck. Guys getting hurt. Guys getting taken out of the match, leaving him all by himself. What could he do? The realistic, approach to this is, I can't beat these guys 3-on-1, 4-on-1, 2-on-1. I can't do it. I can't do it. When are things going to go my way? And when they do, victory is going to be sweet. I think this was great. Crowd was into it, and this is not the end. When Joe comes back, when Ivar comes back, when everybody is just ready to go, then that's what's going to be the sweet victory that Kevin Owens is so desperately wanting. To get one over on the Monday Night Messiah. When it happens, where it happens, I don't know. Could be WrestleMania. Could be WrestleMania. I could see an 8-man elimination match at WrestleMania. And that on that stage, being as epic as it could be one of the best matches of the entire night. So I'm loving what they're doing here, and I think that Kevin Owens and his guys looked very good in defeat here on Monday Night Raw. Eric Young and Alistair Black. This was not an enhancement talent. Now, Alistair Black has stated that he is now going to be knocking on people's doors. That he is going to pick a fight with everybody. Good. Good. I don't know what that means for WrestleMania, but finally, Alistair Black is channeling his NXT version of Alistair Black here on Monday Night Raw. A year later. Nice to see you. Eric Young, what do you think happened? How many of you even realized that Eric Young was on the Monday Night Raw roster? Or better yet, employed by the WWE? Probably a small percentage of you. Black Mass, that was it. Alistair Black picks a fight and wins, says Tom Phillips. Afterwards, Black spoke on the microphone. He said, remember when they told you when you were young that you could grow up and be everything that you wanted to be? Only to then later realize that it was quite the opposite. He said he never understood that about our system. That's not me. That's not real. That's not authentic. He said he's a firm believer people should be whoever they choose to be because that drives relentless competition. He sat mid-ring, crossed his legs. He said he will then engulf the entire locker room with shadows and cast his black mass. While you're laying there, you will realize that it was done by a person who was told he could be whatever he wanted to be. Good promo. Don't know where this leads him to WrestleMania, but I mentioned this on Off the Script, and I'm going to mention it here again. AJ Styles mentioned on Mixer, because he's a gamer, he likes to stream, that he is going to be back for WrestleMania. If Aleister Black is not doing anything by the time WrestleMania season comes around, we're in the middle of WrestleMania season, but when we get deep into WrestleMania season and Aleister Black is not really in anything, there's only two people that I envision on Monday Night Raw with Aleister Black at WrestleMania. One of them being AJ Styles. I think those guys, if you put two of the best on that brand and put Aleister Black over at WrestleMania over AJ, that is a unbelievable way for Aleister Black just trending upwards. That would be a great match. That's actually a fantasy match in some circles. Aleister Black is awesome. AJ, one of the best in the world. You put those two on the stage of WrestleMania, I think they'd kill it. Kill it. The other one is The Undertaker. Undertaker was at the PC not too long ago. I don't know if that's him getting ready for Super Saudi Showdown, because there are rumors that Sting could possibly be set up for a match with The Undertaker at Super Showdown. Or if it's him getting ready to be at WrestleMania. Aleister Black versus The Undertaker, and the way he speaks, the way he has now kind of flipped the coin. He wanted people to knock on his door. Aleister Black is now knocking on people's doors himself. There's no greater door to knock on when come WrestleMania season than the dead man's door. Just throwing that out there. I think that would be an awesome WrestleMania match, and for some weird reason, I don't have any desire to see The Undertaker in the ring anymore, but I honestly think that Undertaker and Black and their styles could mesh very well together at WrestleMania. We'll see. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. Humberto Carrillo, he's in the ring. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Mr. Sesame Street himself, Humberto, is in the ring. They need to give him his own segment on Sesame Street for the little kids. Carrillo's in the ring. Zelina Vega walked out, but she wasn't alone. And Andrade is suspended, so who is she with? Who is she with? One of my favorites from NXT, and that is Angel Garza. Uh-oh. I was afraid this was going to happen. Now we know why he lost the Cruiserweight Championship to Jordan Devlin at Worlds Collide. The announcer said Garza is the cousin of Humberto Carrillo, which is actually factual information because Salrex told me that they are in the same family. So they are cousins. Vega asked if Carrillo was surprised. She said, nobody smart plays fair. That's where Humberto is dumb. Humberto is a loser. He doesn't play smart. Vulnerability is a liability, and I have found yours, she said to Carrillo. She said when you mess with her business, she doesn't pay the price. He does. She said Garza is a former champion in NXT and the hottest Latino prospect. Garza said he is the leader of their family, so you answer to me. As Garza kept talking about how he knows Carrillo and what he did last week, he said he was a disgrace to the fans, his family, and all Latinos. At least I'm not the one saying it. Here you got Angel Garza backing up what I said last week about poor Humberto. Oh, JD hates Humberto. I don't hate Humberto. I just think he's a loser. So Carrillo took the microphone out of this guy's hand, started yelling in Spanish, and then Byron Saxton said it got real personal real quick. So Carrillo began responding in Spanish. Vega, I didn't understand what he was saying, neither did the crowd. How many Spanish people were in that Utah crowd tonight? I guarantee you 0. So nobody gives a shit about Humberto. Nobody gave a shit about Angel Garza at this point. And nobody understood a goddamn thing that they were saying. Why should they? Why should they care in Salt Lake City about Humberto? So Vega slapped him. Garza then jumped Carrillo. He gave Carrillo his angel wings or wing clipper. I like Angel's wings better. He calls it the wing clipper. And then he posed. So he then threw Carrillo into the ringside steps. Pretty decently, by the way. He threw him hard into those steel steps. Then he set up a DDT on the exposed concrete. And Rey Mysterio comes out and saves the day. Garza leapt into the ring and challenged Rey to a match on Monday Night Raw. Now I'm worried about this, man. I'm really worried about what they're doing with Angel Garza. I did not anticipate a call-up this soon. And I got my concerns here. One, obviously, anytime anybody goes to Monday Night Raw, and they have been booked creatively great in NXT, it's never the same on Monday Night Raw. X Alistair Black, X Ricochet, X the Viking Raiders. I mean, the list is pretty solid when it comes to NXT talent being called up and then dying on the main roster. So forgive me if I have my concerns here about Angel Garza. I don't think he should have lost the Cruiserweight Championship at all to Jordan Devlin, but apparently everybody in NXT UK and Shawn Michaels, Triple H, they love Jordan Devlin. And I heard today, I actually read today, that they want Jordan Devlin to defend that Cruiserweight Championship across all brands. So I don't know what that means, but that means that they're pretty damn high on Jordan Devlin. So I have my concerns about Angel Garza just based on the track record that Monday Night Raw has for killing Street Profits, who we didn't see tonight, thank Christ. So Monday Night Raw's track record here is a big fat 0. This is their track record. If they were playing Street Fighter, that's what you'd be hearing. So Angel Garza, no matter how great he is, I don't know why you would debut him in this instance, on this night, in front of these people. Now, I don't mind him with Vega, but they're going the same route with Garza that they're going with Humberto. No video package, he just comes out and nobody knows who he is. WWE threw him out there like they threw Humberto out there all those months ago. When they drafted him via the Superstar Shakeup, they threw him out there expecting the fans to know who he is. You can't do that with somebody like Garza. Garza is fucking phenomenal. The guy's got more charisma in his fucking mustache than most of this roster. I mean, give me a break. You can't be doing that and taking that kind of chance, taking that kind of gamble on a guy like that. Now that they paired him with Vega, I feel a little bit more comfortable. But then pairing him with Vega comes my other concern. Is this setting up Zelina Vega to move on to Garza and dump Andrade? I hope not. I hope that's not the case. And I hope it's not the case sincerely, because even though Vega and Garza look great together, I think Andrade needs Vega more than Garza needs Vega. At least Garza can speak English, and when he speaks, you can actually understand him. Andrade doesn't speak very good English at all. He needs Vega more than Garza needs Vega. So I hope that's not the case. I hope they don't have Vega dump Andrade, because you know that there was a tease of a breakup there before he won the United States Championship, and then all of a sudden things miraculously went back to being normal. So I don't know if that's the case. Maybe Garza is the heel and Andrade's the babyface? I don't know. Being that we got what we got tonight, I don't think that's the case. And with Andrade being out to the end of February, it's probably going to be Andrade and Garza battling Rey and Humberto on Monday Night Raw, which will bring me to my other point after this match. This one went to Mysterio via DQ. Now, I've seen people on social media saying Garza has to win, Garza has to win. Remember when Kevin Owens got brought up from NXT and he beat John Cena? And he got over on John Cena. He was a superstar right then and there, a made man on his first night on Monday Night Raw. Let's do the same thing for Angel Garza. Yes, but that's not where the story's going here. The story is not about Garza and Mysterio. The story is about Andrade and Mysterio. If I'm booking this, that's the story. Humberto and Angel Garza are background players in this thing. Now, Mysterio won by DQ. Rey eventually landed a seated senton. Garza grabbed his leg and then kneed him for a 2 count. Rey then gave Garza a sunset driver followed by a 619. Vega yanked Garza out of the path of the 619. When Rey yelled at Vega at ringside, Garza super kicked him from behind and threw him into the ringside barricade and then DDT'd him on the concrete. Like Andrade did to Humberto, like Humberto did to Andrade, Garza did this to Rey Mysterio. So this called for a DQ. Referee DQ'd Garza. He sat up smiling. Referees checked on Rey. He was saying it hurts, his neck. Rey was on the floor as Garza, like I'm gargling fucking mouthwash after I brush my teeth. Garza and Vega were in the ring celebrating. Now, with Garza being introduced into this entire Humberto Andrade thing and now Mysterio is involved, this could be, I don't think this is the case because WWE, they're going to do what they want to do and they don't always go with what's best or with what makes sense here. This could be WWE's way to get Andrade and Rey, tied up at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. This could be their way to prolong that going into WrestleMania with Andrade and Rey, and we can get that match that I think a lot of people in the community have been asking for or speculating on. It's been reported. It was reported last WrestleMania. A Andrade-Rey match with the mask versus hair stipulation. And I think it makes sense because I honestly think that Rey is done with the WWE after WrestleMania. And I envision Rey losing that, having his time in WWE come to an end. He takes the mask off. He gives the mask to Dominic. And he just bestows Mysterio and the mask to his son. And has his son take over for his legacy in WWE. Now, you talk about WrestleMania moments. That's a WrestleMania moment. That's something I think would qualify for a great WrestleMania moment. And Rey either retires or goes and gives Cody Rhodes a phone call and shows up in Jacksonville. I don't know. That could be WWE's way to prolong it, but I think this is going to be fun. I think Andrade is going to be mixed in with this thing, and team with Garza will get some Rey Mysterio and Humberto tag team action. That could be a way for WWE to build up Humberto, because he certainly isn't doing it on his own. He could benefit from that rub that Mysterio could possibly give him. I don't know. But I did not like the way that Garza was introduced here. No video package, no coming attractions, no vignettes, nothing. They just throw these guys out there. Who is he? I know who he is, but if I had 10,000 me's watching this match, then it would be okay. But those people in that arena did not know who Angel Garza was. They knew who he was when he DDT'd Rey Mysterio on the concrete. He got some decent heel heat at the end of this thing, but this is Salt Lake City. This was tonight. Can he duplicate that next week? Can he duplicate that and be consistent with it week to week? Is he going to get that type of reaction next week and the week after and the week after and the week after that? I hope so. He is too good not to. The guy is just oozing fucking talent. How could you possibly fuck up Angel Garza? I can't see it. I cannot see it. Now, Rey Mysterio got DDT'd on the concrete. Ivar got taken out the way he did against the LED board holding his arm, and he got taken out of that 6-man elimination match with Kevin Owens. WrestleVotes tweeted out that more suspensions are coming. Now, something might have broke in between the time that Monday Night Raw ended and me recording this. I don't know. So if it did, I apologize. But could these suspensions or the drug policy violations go to Ivar? Could Ivar have failed a drug policy violation? What about Rey Mysterio? Rey Mysterio could have taken something and he could have failed a drug policy violation. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but it's going to be very interesting to see what's going on because that is breaking news on top of Andrade being suspended already, and the injuries that are mounting in WWE, primarily on Monday Night Raw, and then the stocks losing $1 billion in market value for Vince and WWE, and him firing George Barrios and Michelle Wilson last week. Yeah, it ain't a good 7-day stretch for Vince. Then he's got the XFL starting on Saturday. Not a good day, not a good week to be Vince McMahon. A lot of stress going around. So I wonder if that is Ivar or Rey Mysterio. I don't know. Could be. Now, if it's Ivar, what happens to Sarah Logan? Sarah Logan could be suspended as well. We don't know. I said, what if Andrade failed? Why don't we go out there and test Charlotte? Charlotte might be zinged for something, but nothing will happen to her because she's the queen. She's the queen. She probably went into the cell chamber and had her batteries cleansed. So, she could get away with that easy. But I don't know, man. Very interesting situation happening here on Monday Night Raw. I will keep you guys updated during the week. Just make sure you guys follow me on social media. The podcast tonight is brought to you by my good friends over at Blue Chew. Now, Monday Night Raw has been pretty decent, so you guys can use Blue Chew if you want, but you might not need Blue Chew on Monday nights as of late. On Fridays, you're definitely going to need Blue Chew, man, because no matter how many times Chad Gable says rise above size, bro, you ain't rising above anything with SmackDown on Friday night. I have Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. And now you guys can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed using Blue Chew. That is BlueChew.com. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. If you could benefit from more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance that performance. Blue Chew is prescribed by online licensed physicians, so you don't have to go through a doctor's office or wait in line at the pharmacy. And this is the best part, guys. It ships right to your front door in a very discreet package, so the mailman won't know about your performance. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. And best of all, there's no more awkwardness. Right now, I got a special offer for everybody listening to the Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code JD. All you guys have to use is that code and pay $5 shipping and handling. Again, that's BlueChew.com, promo code JD. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, and faster choice. And I want to thank them for supporting the Monday Night Raw podcast right here on Off the Script. Charlotte, my favorite wrestler, said nobody ever. Charlotte Flair Will Robinsoned herself down to the ringside area. Danger! Danger! Monday Night Raw, I am the queen. Rhea Ripley, NXT, meltdown. Charlotte, who she faces at Wrestlemania at this point, I don't even give a shit. But she showed up tonight And the whole thing was, again, just like last week, she was going to tell everybody who she wants at WrestleMania. She said she could choose to face Becky Lynch. No, thank you. She could choose to face Bayley. No, thank you. Charlotte said she's held the Raw title multiple times, and she's defeated Becky. She said she's held the SmackDown title multiple times, and has beaten Bayley. So we had a small Rhea chant from Salt Lake City, Utah. Charlotte says that she has love for NXT, and NXT has love for their queen, Android. She said that she's held all the gold 10 times, but she wants more gold. Or all the gold. She wants all the gold. Pretty much. She's like fucking Goldfinger and Austin Powers. Gold? My penis is made of gold? The only thing is Charlotte doesn't pick off her own skin and eat it and keep it in a nice little lockbox. This is awful, man. Every time I hear Charlotte's music, it's like a disease to my ears. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Her music makes me violently ill. I can't stand the internal politics that I know go on with Charlotte. I can't stand the fact that there's a Charlotte agenda to have her be the 17-time women's champion. It's awful. So, obviously, she was interrupted, surprisingly, not obviously, but with the Rhea chants. I was surprised to see Rhea Ripley on this show tonight. Rhea Ripley came out, and commentary sold it. Oh my God, Rhea Ripley, the NXT champion, is here. NXT chants broke out. She told Charlotte that she gets to challenge for any title she wants at WrestleMania, and she has already defeated Becky and Bayley. But do you know who you haven't beaten? She said me. Fans cheered. Fans were chanting for Rhea. As a matter of fact, I have beaten you. She said if she's going to challenge for any title at WrestleMania, and she dropped the mic and held up the NXT Women's Championship. The NXT Women's Championship, by the way. Charlotte stared at her, smiled, and left the ring without answering this apparent challenge from the NXT Women's Champion. So that was pretty much it. Now, Charlotte is being advertised on NXT for Wednesday, and I'm assuming that she is going to get involved in the Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair stare down for their title match at TakeOver in Portland. Now, I am not going to go over this again. I got my notes on it, but there's no reason for me to go over it again. I went over it in detail on Off the Script on Friday. You guys can go and check it out on Friday's podcast. 25 minutes of why this is an absolutely terrible idea. Unless WWE listens to every word that I stated in that particular segment on OTS. That is the only reason, or the only way it will work, and the only reason why I would accept it. It's the best way for me to put it. Now, what I don't like additionally about this is two things. One, blatantly obvious why Charlotte's going to be on NXT. If you think it's for Rhea Ripley, you're a fucking idiot. Give me a break. AEW has beaten NXT single-handedly and very easily, by the way, on Wednesday nights. Right? Right? The only time NXT has beaten AEW in the ratings on Wednesday night is when there's a main roster talent on NXT. And lo and behold, what do we have on Wednesday? A main roster talent! Wow! If NXT wins on Wednesday night, I am not going to be surprised. But then again, I think, who's going to tune in to watch the Android go in there and challenge Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship? The fact that Rhea Ripley showed up tonight was pretty much the answer anyway. I don't need to watch NXT to know who Charlotte's going to choose. She pretty much told you without actually telling you. I've beaten Becky. I've beaten Bayley. Out comes Rhea Ripley. Now that you put it in the fans' mind, nobody wants to see the other two choices. So clearly you know what the choice is going to be. Now, if it's that easy, I don't know why they didn't do it here and now if she's here. See what I mean? Why do you gotta do it with her in Full Sail on Wednesday? That makes it more blatantly obvious about why she's there. AEW effect. Oh, man. You know, the coronavirus is going around, man. I hope I'm not getting none. AEW effect, motherfucker. Give me a break. If they wanted to do it, they could do it now. They should have did it tonight. This is a negative thing with her going down there. Not only for that reason, but I think we all assumed anyway before Charlotte's name got thrown in there that Bianca wasn't winning the title. But what I don't like is the fact that now, with Charlotte and Rhea on everybody's mind, that is going to supersede the match with Rhea and Bianca. And Bianca doesn't deserve that. Why do we have to have this match take precedent now over the current match that Rhea still has to get through? I don't like that. The NXT Women's title match at TakeOver now has taken on less of an important value. I'm sorry. I don't like that. They should have did the announcement now, even though it really wouldn't have mattered. The match was going to take precedent over whatever Rhea was doing with Bianca anyway, but now Charlotte's going to be there, and Bianca's stare down with Rhea Ripley is not going to be the important thing. People aren't going to be talking about Bianca at the end of the night. They're going to be talking about Rhea and Charlotte, and Bianca is going to be the third wheel, which again proves my point and kind of solidifies my opinion on this anyway. Like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago on the NXT review, Bianca's getting called up to the main roster. She is main roster bound. When she loses to Rhea Ripley, she's done in NXT. There's nothing more for her to do. But this Rhea Charlotte thing, you know, you're going to have these wrestle geeks and these fucking, these brain dead idiots in the community saying that this is going to be a fantastic match, this is a dream match, a fantasy match, and everybody's going to fucking jerk themselves off to, right? Meanwhile, they're jumping on the bandwagon of fucking positivity without thinking about the overwhelming negative that comes from this. This is a terrible idea. Do you know how bad this is if Charlotte wins? Everything that is good that you think about this match is worthless if Charlotte wins this match. Yes, because we all are under the assumption that Charlotte won the Royal Rumble just to go to WrestleMania and lose to Rhea Ripley. This is the same woman that I know didn't want to be eliminated by Shayna Baszler in the Royal Rumble. Now I have to believe, and you're going to tell me that she's going to go to WrestleMania and lose to Rhea Ripley? Oh my God, man, you people are fucking comical, man. I swear to God, you are fucking comedy acts in the community. Unreal. I don't like this. I want to warm up to it, but I can't. I can't do it. And this takes a little bit less of a precedent away from Bianca Belair, and she doesn't deserve that. I'm sorry. Natalya versus Asuka. I'd rather watch paint dry for 4 hours than watch Natalya wrestle. This wasn't bad. It was good for what it was, but I can't watch Natalya wrestle, man. She's just boring to me. This was a pretty decent match. This is what women's wrestling should be on Monday Night Raw. Competitive and, you know, really kick-ass and intense. This was good. It's just Natalya sucks. So we see Natalya and Asuka. Asuka had Natalya in an armbar. Bunch of roundhouse kicks were being thrown. Natalya caught a charging Asuka with a kick. Asuka rolled Natalya up for a near fall. They reversed each other's series of 2 counts thereafter. Natalya hit a discus clothesline, which looked good. Natalya then applied a sharpshooter. Asuka crawled to the bottom rope, hanging outside the ring, forced a break. Sane distracted Natalya at ringside, giving Asuka the opening to put Natalya in the Asuka lock, and the win. Asuka wins in 12 minutes. Afterwards, Asuka picked up a microphone and started yelling in Japanese and then yelled in English that she wants a rematch for the Raw Women's Championship and Becky Lynch. So Becky Lynch comes out on stage and starts wearing, she's now wearing what looks to be troll glasses. She thinks she's cooler than she really is, Becky Lynch. Becky entered the ring with the title and these new troll-like sunglasses, the goat jacket. I believe she had the goat jacket on. Becky said after ducking her for a whole year, she now wants to fight her again. She said it sounds interesting because beating her at the Rumble damn near gave her superpowers. and she started flexing. Please. She's already on certain levels of cringe. We don't need to add to that. Please. So she starts flexing and says she has superpowers. She said she would love to drink from that fountain again. But then I think, why would I put my precious title on the line so close to WrestleMania? It's over 2 months away. She said the answer is because beating her ass twice would be just as fun. You're on. So Kairi Sane came in from behind and whatever the fuck was going. It's like, I don't know what this was. It was like, I don't know. I'm trying to come up with an analogy for you. I just can't come up with anything. It's like she was playing, I don't know, tag, you're it, on Becky Lynch. I don't know whether this was supposed to be a sneak attack from behind or if they were playing in the fucking playground. It looked like 2 4-year-olds playing in the fucking playground. Tag, you're it. She was supposed to come from behind and attack Becky Lynch. But Becky knocked her down with one hand, title still draped over her shoulder, glasses still on, and she took her and threw her out of the ring with the glasses and the belt still on. What is this? Then she makes fun of her superpowers. See what I did? Superpowers. So we got a title match. We got a title match here. Becky Lynch shrugged off. Cringe. She looks very cringe here. I don't know, man. I did not like this at all. You know, I know Becky's supposed to be fun-loving and, just out there, right? I didn't like this. I didn't like that. First of all, the announcement of a match is one of two things. One, it's kind of predictable. You know, we all know that Asuka is not going into WrestleMania for WrestleMania as the women's champion of Monday Night Raw. Asuka's not going into WrestleMania as Raw women's champion. But then again, it's got me thinking. If Asuka does beat Becky, I think it would be beneficial to Becky Lynch because I honestly think she is, and I hate to agree with him, but Corey Graves said that the fans seem to be kind of fading on Becky Lynch a little bit, and it is true. It's not as potent, or it's not as strong as it was last year. I honestly think she would do better in a chase role than as being the champion. What if Asuka beats Becky Lynch? And what if we get Shayna Baszler called up to Monday Night Raw? What if we get Shayna versus Asuka at WrestleMania? Just a thought. It's not going to happen, but it's just a thought. You got Asuka, who is the most dominant female in the history of NXT, against the second most dominant female in NXT. Now on Monday Night Raw, fighting over the Raw Women's Championship. I think I like that. I like the sound of that. I might actually like that than Shayna versus Becky. But Vince won't go for that. Vince won't go for that. I would. But we all know that Becky and Asuka, again, getting an extra match out of it, you know, it makes sense. It sells Monday Night Raw for next week, but it is predictable. It is very predictable. Maybe that's when we see Shayna Baszler. Maybe that's when we see Shayna. When is Shayna showing up? Maybe we see Shayna next week. Because Becky went on this thing, you know, I got my debt. My debt's been collected, you know? So now she feels like she doesn't have to collect any more debts. She doesn't feel like she, you know, has to go out there and challenge anybody, you know? She's the driver now. Till Shayna Baszler comes in and crashes that fucking vehicle and kind of picks apart the bones in that car accident. I think it's going to happen. So we see Rollins. He makes his way down to the ring for the main event. He addresses the crowd. More crybaby Rollins here. He asks them to give his guys a round of applause for their victory earlier. I shall do no such thing to you, but to them I would. He said it is his time to once again dethrone Brock Lesnar. Fans booed. He said that's funny because 1 year ago, he made the same promise and he got an entirely different response. Ooh, cry me some more, Seth Rollins. Said he won the title, he defended it. Japan, Iowa, New York, California, China, Ireland, Euro, all over Europe, whatever he was talking about. And he said they didn't cheer him and embrace him. They crucified him. No, Rollins, I crucified you for being a crybaby bitch. I crucified you for being a crybaby pussy on Monday Night Raw. I crucified you for saying that you were going to be a fighting champion, yet you cowered in a corner because another adult male dwarfed you wearing a scary Halloween mask. But this is the fighting champion that you all wanted us to believe in. Crying against Lesnar, showing us how stupid you are against Brock Lesnar, and then being a coward because a guy in a creepy mask came up from behind you. Give me a break, Rollins. It's not why we booed you. We booed you because you were a coffee-drinking bitch. That's the truth of the reality. He'll probably block me again on social media. ×2. So he says he doesn't hate the fans for it. He says he's here to say thank you because it's because of them, the fans, that he is the man he is today. This is the man I have become. So he said this time when he beats Lesnar, it won't be for himself or the fans. It'll be for the greatest good. It will be for something you cannot even begin to understand. He said it'll be remembered for 100 years that he was the man who saved the industry. He said he will go on to WrestleMania and face Drew McIntyre. It will be the Monday Night Messiah against Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. I'm sorry, Messiah. Continue preaching, my friend. You will not go to WrestleMania. Ricochet, Lashley, and Rollins. Winner faces Brock Lesnar. Not going to go over this. I don't really give a shit. Winner is Ricochet. I said this on Monday Night Raw. I said it on Off the Script, for Monday Night Raw. Brock Lesnar was, one of the stories on Off the Script was Lesnar's going to be at Super Showdown. Lesnar's going to defend the WWE Championship. Who on this brand, in the interim, is the most perfect choice? There's only two. It's either Lashley, and WWE gives us a match that I think would be very interesting in the one-off, or it's going to be Ricochet. Because Lesnar kicked Ricochet in the balls, and then Ricochet repaid the favor at the Royal Rumble. So that clearly sets up, via logic, a match between Ricochet and Brock Lesnar. Now, I'm not surprised that Ricochet won this. I think it's quite comical that Ricochet is to be believed in a match against Brock Lesnar. Just seeing the match graphic alone is like comedy hour. This is horrific booking. Why am I going to believe in a guy that has done virtually nothing on this show against Brock Lesnar? Now, you're going to get the idiots out there. You already got the idiots out there saying, oh, this is going to be a showcase for Ricochet. He's going to look great against Brock Lesnar. Okay. Ricochet should be on the up and up. He should be going this way. He should not be going this way. Because that's exactly what's going to happen in a match against Brock Lesnar. What does this do exactly? I'd love for you to explain this to me in a match against Brock Lesnar, what this is going to do for Ricochet. Nobody believes in him now. I don't know how you're going to get me to believe in him in the weeks building up to this shit. And then when we get there, you mean to tell me that Ricochet is going to last more than 3 minutes against Brock Lesnar? That will be an instant burial against Brock Lesnar. Yeah, he's going to flip. He's going to sell. He's going to sell his ass off. He's going to kill himself to get this match over and look as good as possible. Brock Lesnar's going to show up to work and make his millions and have a very easy night of work. He works great with the smaller guys. This is all good and well. But this does absolutely nothing for Ricochet. Nothing. What does this do for Ricochet stock? I did not, and neither did you, so don't bullshit me. Nobody envisioned or nobody wanted, oh man, I can't wait for Ricochet to get called up to the main roster. He's got a great match against Brock Lesnar waiting for him. No, I didn't. I can honestly say I did not ask for this. I did not envision it. I did not want it. And neither did you. And here we are. What makes you think that this match is better than a one-off with Bobby Lashley? I've crucified Bobby Lashley every chance that I got. But if there was a right winner in this match, it was Bobby Lashley. And he didn't come out with Lana. Rusev wasn't there. He didn't interfere in this match. Completely dead and buried. This feud is over. So why are you not giving Bobby Lashley the match in a one-off against Brock Lesnar? I don't get it. Don't you think that Bobby Lashley should have been fucking rewarded for being put in this shit storyline? He did everything you asked of him. Don't you think a one-off match that would be legit against Lesnar would be a great payment? Pay it forward. WWE doesn't have any definition of pay it forward. What an awful fucking decision. I don't know how you could be looking at me and thinking that Ricochet is a better choice than Bobby Lashley. I don't know how many of you guys actually watch this show, Super Showdown, or any of these Saudi shows. So if you don't watch it, this is of no interest to you. You wouldn't have seen Ricochet, and if it was Lashley, you wouldn't have seen Bobby Lashley. But I guarantee you that if it was Bobby Lashley, I think you would have gone a little bit more out of your way to go watch Lashley and Brock Lesnar in that main event. What an awful fucking decision. I can't back that. Ricochet has done absolutely... He's won the United States Championship and then lost it 2 weeks later. Well, probably less than that. That's it. He's lost to AJ Styles numerous occasions. He's done nothing. He sat off this show idle for about 3 weeks. He's had no real major feuds at all on Monday Night Raw. He's lost in mid-card purgatory. Now you're throwing him against Brock Lesnar, and you expect me, after the horrific booking that this guy has gone under, expect me to look at this match and be excited about it. I don't understand it. This should have been Lashley. No questions asked. Afterwards, F5 to Ricochet. Lesnar was there. I mean, where the fuck was he in the opening segment with... or in the first hour, I should say, with Drew McIntyre? Where was he? So Drew McIntyre said all this shit with Brock Lesnar in the locker room, and Lesnar didn't come out to do anything or build towards their match. He took issue with Ricochet. I don't know, man. Monday Night Raw was decent, but Jesus fucking Christ, it's like they just develop stupidity as the show goes longer. If this was a 2-hour show, this would have been a great show. There was a lot to like on this show, some positivity coming out of it, but still, got a lot of work to do. But they are trying. I can't get behind that Ricochet win over Lashley. Should have been Lashley and Lesnar at Super Showdown. Guys, I'm getting out of here. Thank you all so very much for all of your support. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure to hit that thumbs up. It really helps out the video. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. And again, please go and follow my friends over at Tavor on Instagram. Look at their wall. Pick a picture. It could be anything. Tag me at JD from NY206 in it, and you guys will automatically be entered in the $100 giveaway for my birthday on Tavor. Thank you guys so very much for showing them support. Follow me on social media while I'm at it, at JD from NY206. If you guys want to support the podcast via Patreon, you guys can certainly do that as well. Patreon.com/JD from NY206 and BlueChew.com and code JD at checkout. All you have to pay is $5 shipping and handling. Guys, I'm getting out of here, and I will see you right back here with more content on the channel during the week. Monday Night Raw is in the books as we build towards Super Showdown. I'm getting out of here. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys right back here on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite on TNT.